Thank you everyone for joining us today. We are meeting to go over the new features for April, and there's quite a lot to cover. So let's jump in. We'll just cover some housekeeping to start off with. So any questions that you do have, we will get you to add those to the chat. This session is specific to new feature releases in Astalty. So please ensure that any questions that you have are directly related to the features that we discussed during the session. If you have any other questions, we'll be more than happy to answer them via support or in a future training session as well. Please make sure to ask your questions using the chat, which is located down at the bottom of Google Meet. And this session is being recorded and will be uploaded to the training guide after the session. All right, to use the chat, please click the icon in the bottom right-hand corner of Google Meet. When you're asking your questions, please include as much detail as you can. We do have Holly joining us from the support team today as well, so any questions that you have and add into the chat, Holly should be able to respond to. If we don't have an answer for you though, we will certainly make sure to get those answers through to you after the session via an email. There will be a short time at the end to respond to questions as well. And like I said, any other opportunity for question time, we will certainly open that up for you to use the raise hand function, which allows us to be notified that you have got a question to ask as well. So to use that raise your hand function, you'll simply click on the highlighted option down the bottom of Google Meet. We'll be able to see that you've raised your hand to ask a question. If you no longer need to ask the question, you can just press that button again. Otherwise, when it's your turn to speak, you can lower your hand by pressing the button yourself, or Google will actually lower it for you on your behalf. All right, so let's jump into it. We're all here to see what features have been released, so let's not wait any longer. Chat. This is one of our beta releases that has only just been made available to some users. If you would like to see how chat works for your team, please reach out to us at support@astalty.com.au and we will be more than happy to enable that for you. So chat is a built-in messaging feature that lets teams communicate directly inside Astalty, so no more bouncing around between your emails or another app to coordinate your day. You also have the option for direct messages for one-on-one conversations with individual team members, and also group channels for team, location, or topic-based discussions. Now, it's real-time messaging with full conversation history. You've got searchable messages, rich formatting, file attachments, mentions, reactions, and pinned messages. The system messages track activity automatically, so like your member additions and channel updates, and an online presence indicator so you know who is around as well. A very handy little feature to have. Now, chat is available on both the web application as well as the mobile app, which helps support workers stay connected while they are in the field. So for administrators, you can create and manage group channels. You can link user groups to a channel, so membership stays in sync automatically as people join or leave the group. And you also have the ability to control chat settings and permissions, such as message editing, deletion, and history visibility. So let's jump across and we're going to have a look at how scheduling appears in the app. I will just share this tab with you guys instead. Lovely. Okay, so to find your chat, you're going to navigate up to the top bar here, and next to your notifications icon, you'll see a little chat bubble. You'll simply click on this and that will open up the chat feature. Okay, so we can see here that we have a few different chats that have been created. For instance, we have a chat here between Holly and myself, and this is just a direct message between the two of us. So we will receive notifications when a comment is added to this conversation. We also have the ability to add reactions. So I can click on the icon next to the comment that Holly has made, and I can add a reaction just like that. Now, you also have the ability to see who has reviewed that note or that comment that you've made by hovering over the tick icon down the bottom here. And you'll also be able to see that this particular message has been edited as well. So it provides that clear visibility of any changes that have been made. This is obviously all dependent on the settings that you have set up in your chat settings. Now, if we have a group chat like this one here with our support team, we can see that I've actually tagged everyone. So everyone in the group receives that notification to let them know there's new content. I can see that we have a reaction from Holly. And when I hover over who has seen this message, I can see that Holly has seen it, but 2 of the other team members are yet to review that message in their app or from the web-based browser. Now, again, we can we can add a reaction to the comments that have been made. We can also pin a message to the top of the conversation as well. So you can navigate to any pins for the conversation by clicking on pins at the top here, and you'll be able to see that listed here. All right, so I'm going to show you as well how this appears to our support workers via the app. So I'm just going to change what we're sharing. Okay. Hopefully this works okay for you. Can I get a thumbs up to let me know that that's appearing okay on the screen? Fantastic, lovely. First time doing this, so please bear with me. Thank you. Alrighty, so chat is found down the bottom of the application. And when you navigate here, it's very much like you would expect any other type of messaging service, like your Facebook Messenger, perhaps Slack, for example. All you will do here is click into the relevant conversation, and the same features are available as they were on the desktop version as well. So you'll have the ability to add reactions. You can type out a note. Thanks for confirming, and we can send that off. Now, you also have the ability here to make certain parts of the conversation bold. You can italicize. You can also add dot points to the message as well, and go ahead and send that through. Now that person will receive a notification to let them know that that message has been sent. But that's just the general idea of how that works there for you guys as well. So pretty straightforward in how the messaging is delivered. But you also have the ability as an admin user from the app to make changes as well. So we can add a group conversation here if we wanted to. And you'll see that we have user groups up the top here. So we can actually assign all of the relevant user groups to this particular group chat, such as admin and perhaps managers. And we can then click the tick at the top there, and that makes the group chat then available for all of those users. Alrighty, let's go back to our desktop version. I'll just share that screen again. So many different tabs open. Okay, there we go. Now, if we wanted to create our chats from within the web-based browser, we're simply going to click on the Create Chat icon right here. And from here, we can select individual users, or we can also select from our user groups here as well. So very similar to how we did in the app as well. Now, we do have the search function, which is extremely handy. So if you had a keyword that you wanted to look up, say, for instance, it was note, it'll show you any chats within your chat history that have that key phrase listed in them. So we can click on this particular chat, and it's also going to highlight the relevant chat as well that contains that keyword. So another great way to review information within chat. So like I said, this is in beta. If you are keen to give this a go, please reach out to our support team and we'll be more than happy to switch this on for you. Alrighty, let's move along. We have now got the feature for required records by participant tags. So this makes participant record types required only for participants with selected tags rather than for everyone. Helps to tailor compliance to specific cohorts. And this is configured under your settings and participants. So let's jump across and we'll have a look at how this looks in practice. So we'll go to settings and we'll navigate to participants. And we can see here we have our participant record types and our participant tags. Now, I have a tag here that is for medication required for some participants. What we'll do here is have a look at our medication list record type. Now, when we click on edit for this particular record type, we have the ability to select whether this is a required record, which is just a blanket required record for every participant, or required for some participant tags. Now, when we select this option, we'll have the ability to choose our tags from the drop-down menu provided. So let's go ahead and select medication required, and we'll go ahead and update. When we navigate across to our participant's profile, then we're going to have a look at Aileen, who has the medication required tag here. And when we go to Aileen's records, we'll see that we have our medication list, which has already been created here. If this was no longer available, let me just remove this. Sorry, 1 second. We'll see that that medication list is actually popped back up here as a missing record. Now, if we go to another participant, say, for instance, we have a look at Abigail here. Abigail does not have the medication required tag. So when we go to records, we'll see that that medication list is not a required record here. And even though we have one here as a medication list, if we delete this and jump back in, we will see that that medication required record does not appear here because this participant does not have that relevant tag. So this is just another great way to ensure that the appropriate records are applied to the appropriate participants. Alrighty. Incident collaborators. This has been a highly requested feature. So we have the ability to assign incidents to specific users, but you now also have the ability to add collaborators to a participant or staff incident so that other users can view and edit the incident alongside the assignee. Now, this is found under the collaborators section within the incident itself. So let's have a look at how this appears to the user. So in our incidents tab here, we have got an incident here that is under review. So when we click into this, we can see that we have already assigned this to myself, but we want to add a collaborator. So perhaps we want to add a manager who is going to assist us in this process. So we'll simply click on edit in the top right-hand corner. And from the collaborators drop-down button here, we can then select our manager, which is Adela in this instance. Once Adela has been selected and we update the incident, Adela will receive a notification in Astalty to let them know that they have an incident that they can review. So let's jump across and see what that looks like for that user. We'll just switch to our manager. Now we'll see that we have a notification up here. So you've been added as an incident collaborator. By clicking on this notification here, the user will be directed to the relevant incident where they can then come in and update any of the incident details or follow-up information as necessary. So this is a great way to, share this amongst your team, the relevant incident information with them so that you can have a collaborative approach to resolving incidents that have been received. All righty. What I will also just cover briefly, just bear with me for a second. No, sorry. Okay, all good. We can move along. Lovely. So let's have a look at the travel evidence policy now. So this is now configurable, between odometer only or odometer and photos. And this just improves the visibility for your scheduling team when it comes time to approve those kilometers. It is a much stronger audit trail by including the photos. It's harder to falsify and easier for your admins to validate travel claims. So let's go over to Astalty and have a look at how that appears. We'll just change the screen we're sharing again. Alrighty, so if we go down to our settings and navigate to scheduling, we'll click on edit in the top right-hand corner. And from here, we have the ability to adjust all of our scheduling settings. So what we're going to do is scroll down to our travel evidence policy. And we can see here that we have chosen the odometer and photos option. Now, when we navigate to the app itself, which I will just change the screen again for you guys. We'll jump into the schedule. And let's have a look at today. Now we can see here that I have an event with my participant, Shana. Just for your reference, all of the names listed today as participants are fictitious details. There's no actual participant information is shared. When we go into this shift, we can have a look at our travel, and let's go ahead and click into here and start that travel. So historically, your support workers would just enter their odometer readings, but we do now have the ability for the support worker to select images either from their gallery or to take a picture using their camera. Let's add an image here. My fancy little odometer reading. and we'll enter those kilometers here as well. Once we submit that, that information is then tracked in the application, and that image will also be included in the shift approvals themselves. So let's jump across and we'll actually clock in and out of this one. There we go. And we'll clock out. Actually, this is probably not going to be the best way to describe it because we do have a few steps that need to be completed in order for this to be seen. But the way this will appear, and we'll jump back over to our schedule. Fantastic. What we'll do is we'll go over to scheduling and we'll go to our shift approvals. The way this will appear in here is under your supports, you'll have an image that displays here where an odometer picture has been taken. So we can see here that that's been done for this particular support, which is super handy. And you can open that image up to review the content a little bit closer and allows you to verify against the data that has been entered by the support worker as well. All right. Cool. Record acknowledgements. This is another beta feature that we have released recently. Now, our record acknowledgements are, let me just scroll down to where we are here, allows you to mark a record as requiring acknowledgement. So support workers are prompted in the app to review and acknowledge documents before their shifts. We can also push out a notification every Monday through the notifications in your main menu, which reminds workers of any documents that are due for review within the next 2 weeks, as in the supports are being delivered in the next 2 weeks and there are record acknowledgements required on those supports. We also have a report that shows where those record acknowledgements stand as well. So let's have a look at how that appears too. So we'll jump over here. And we're going to go to a participant's profile. Let's jump into Shana's support here. And we're going to go down to records. Now we have a behavior support plan here. And this behavior support plan, when we click on edit, it's a visible to support workers record type. When we scroll down here, it requires support worker acknowledgement. So we've selected this option. What this means is that in the support workers app, they will be required to review this documentation to provide supports effectively. So let's jump across and have a look at how that appears. We might have a look at one for, bear with me. Sorry, just give me 2 seconds. I'll just stop sharing for a moment. Apologies for the delay here, guys. Okay. Nope, it looks like I'm having a minor technical difficulty here, but effectively, and we'll go back to this page here. Is that going to let me share? No. All right, so in the image here, you can see that we have records to acknowledge for the support worker. And effectively what will happen is they can tap into that medication list or the allergy information or whatever that required record is. They will have to scroll down through that record to review all of the content. And once they have scrolled to the very bottom of the page, they'll be able to tick a button or tap a button that says that they have acknowledged and read and acknowledged that required record. So this is a great way to make sure that your staff are reviewing relevant information. These might be things like your oral eating and drinking care plans as well. We'll have a look at how the report works in Astalty here as well. So if we navigate down to reports, and we'll go to scheduling and we'll have a look at our record acknowledgements. We can see here that we have several records that are yet to be reviewed. We also have some that have already been reviewed. Now, a handy little addition here is the ability to review the document directly from this page as well. So if we click in this line here, we can open up the relevant document attached to that record. All right. Now, you can also navigate directly to the participant's profile from here by clicking on the 3 dots to the right-hand side, and you can also view other records for the participant by navigating to the participant records page here too. Alrighty, so this, like I said, is in beta at the moment. If you would like to trial this feature, please reach out to support@astalty.com.au and we will certainly add you to that list as well. All right, let's move along. We now have some new filters in the schedule. So by popular request, we have had some feedback from users where they are trying to manage their referrals that are coming through, where they have participants with specific needs like gender requirements or age profiles or something to those effect. And we haven't had a way of easily capturing that from the schedule view itself. So let's have a look here. We'll navigate through to scheduling. And so long as you've got the support worker view selected here, you're going to have access to all of the different tags here. So let's apply our work agenda, for example. So say you've had a referral come through and you've got a participant who's only able to work with female staff. You can now select from the drop down here for female, and all of your staff who meet that relevant criteria will be listed in the schedule. This provides greater oversight for when you are planning out your scheduling, making sure that you have capacity to deliver the relevant support. But you also have the ability to stack your filters as well. So if you wanted to add in the worker age as well, and say for instance we wanted to have a support worker who is less than 60, we can apply that filter and anyone who meets those criteria will apply in this list as well. All right, let's have a look as well at improved visibility of unavailability in the schedule. So let's jump back across here again. And we're going to have a look at some support workers in this list. We'll just clear these filters so we can see everybody. Now, when we scroll down, we can now see that unavailability has been identified in the schedule as tiles. Historically, this was an entire the cell, was entirely filled with red to identify that the support worker was unavailable. But this new update provides a much clearer view of what availability the support worker actually has. So for Beverly, we can see that she's unavailable from 5 a.m. till 3 p.m., 6 a.m. till 7 a.m. We've got that information readily accessible. If we scroll down, we'll have a look at John Doe. I believe he is unavailable because he's away on extended leave. So when we hover over the unavailable tile, it indicates that there is an extended period of leave. So for John, we can see that he's away from today right through to the 19th of May as well. So just a quality of life improvement in the schedule to make life a little bit easier for your scheduling team. Okay, we'll continue ahead. The SHADS Interpretation Playground. Now, this is an interactive scenario tool. It can model sleepovers, active overnights, broken shifts, weekend and cross midnight work, and you can instantly see how it would translate to pay lines and allowances. This is really great for sense checking complex shifts before locking them in. So to use this feature, you will need to make sure that you have pay groups set up in Astalty. Now, you may have this already enabled if you have the Xero integration set up. If not, you'll need to navigate to settings, and we'll jump across to our scheduling section here, and we're going to scroll down to pay groups. Now, you can simply add in a pay group for support worker, for example, and to do that, you'll just click in this top corner here and then type in the name of the pay group. Astalty will automatically utilize the relevant pay items to help track this information when you're using the SHADS interpreter. So let's go over to scheduling again, and we'll go down to our SHADS playground. Now, the great thing about this playground is we actually have templates as well. So let's go ahead and remove this particular template, and we'll click on Load Template. We're going to scroll down and we're going to have a look at a sleepover with active overnights. So we'll click on Start Fresh. If we wanted to add some additional shifts as well, we could click on Load Template and we could append the scenario with an additional shift. It might be Sunday, for example. But let's just have a look at how the sleepover configuration works. So we're going to select a user and we're going to have John Smith as our user. Now, this particular sleepover is happening tomorrow night. So we're going to select Wednesday and it'll end on Thursday. And we're going to select the pay group as support worker. Now, we're going to have an active overnight portion in this particular shift, and we know that it's going to be for 3 hours. So what we're going to do is make sure that our starting time is correct. This awake period is going to be from 1 a.m. on the 7th, and it's going to go through till 4 a.m. on the 7th. Again, we'll select our support worker as our pay group. And then what we're going to do here is make sure that sleepover has been ticked in the first instance. This covers the entire shift. And then our active overnight portion has been ticked as well. We're going to run this interpretation, and probably would be helpful if we change the end date here so we're not doing 21 hours of overtime. We'll run that interpretation again. And now we can see that we have our sleepover allowance captured. We also have our overtime elements captured as well. So we've got 2 hours for the first 2 hours of overtime and then 1 additional hour there as well. Now, your sleepover rates overnight is Saturday from Monday through to Saturday, Sunday rates on Sundays, and public holidays on public holidays. And all of that information is accessible through the SHADS award. All right, so if you are keen on having a play with this, definitely jump in and have a look. It is a great way to see how your interpretation is going to react. You can also have a look at itemized lines as well, so you can see that information easily on the page here too. Okay, let's continue on to our feedback and complaints register. Again, this is something that has been highly requested, and we have now recently released this into beta. So let's jump in and have a little more of a look. This is a built-in module for capturing and managing the feedback that your services receive, from praise through to formal complaints in one place. So no more spreadsheets or email folders, and this is designed to make NDIS quality and safeguarding obligations easier to evidence at audit time. All right, let's jump over and we'll share this tab instead. And we're going to go over to our forms page first. So job number 1 for your forms is to create a feedback form. So to do that, we're going to go to Manage Forms and we'll click on Create Form. And we need to use a template, just as you would do for your referrals and your incident registers. It needs to be an Astalty template in order for this feature to work. So we'll click on Browse Templates. And as your feedback is generally going to come from external sources, we'll choose the Browse Templates from External Form. You'll go ahead and click on the Feedback and Complaints form here to use the template. And within here, you'll see that we have fields that are system fields and cannot be removed. So this is part of the workflow to make sure that the information that comes through works as intended. So what we can do here is we can make some edits. You can change the way that it appears visually. You can change your colors. You can change your buttons. You can do that by navigating to settings, just as you would for any of your other forms. And you can also add in additional fields as well, such as maybe you want to have a file upload option, or you may want to have additional multi-select checkboxes. Okay, so what we'll do from here is we'll navigate back to our forms and we'll click on External Form. We can see we have a feedback and complaints form here. So when we click onto this, we'll see how this looks for the user. Now, the form is dynamic in the sense that if you have selected feedback, you will then be prompted to select how that experience was for you. If it's a complaint, however, that field disappears. The user can then go through and add in all of the relevant information here as well. Now, I did also want to show you from this page here that we can set up notifications for your feedback. So let's go down to notifications here and we'll go to feedback. This is a great feature as well in your notifications, is you have the ability to select from the row of notification types, or you can also type in from the All Notifications page to see all relevant forms or notifications, that relate to that particular key phrase. So we'll click on feedback here, and we don't have any notifications yet. So let's click on Create Notification, and we may want to send out some information to the user by both email and as an alert in Astalty. So please check feedback. Now we can choose from either user groups or we can select individual users. So let's choose our admin user in this particular instance, and we're going to get an email notification and an alert in Astalty as well. So we'll go ahead and add that notification there like that. You can obviously come in here and make any changes as necessary as well, just by clicking on these three dots here and edit and make those adjustments as necessary. Okay, let's have a look at our feedback register itself. So you'll see that's been separated into feedback and complaints. So our feedback is potentially positive feedback. Let's jump in and have a look at this one here. This one has been acknowledged. We can see, very much like we do in the incident register, a feedback details section here as well. So this allows you to assign this to a particular user to review, which we can see has already been done here. And you can update the feedback or any follow-up that is required on that particular feedback that's been received. So we'll click on here. When we go to our complaints register as well, we don't have anyone assigned as yet. So let's jump in and show you how to do that. We'll click on edit and we'll assign this to Adela and update feedback. We can now see that Adela has been added as the assignee, which is listed right here. And she can then come in and make any changes as necessary as well. Alrighty, so you do have the ability to update the status of your feedback just as you would with your incidents. So your feedback status will start at new. You can then change it to acknowledged, in progress, on hold, resolved, or closed. So we will make this one say in progress for now. And you'll be able to see this from the complaints register table here as well. You do also have the ability to adjust the view based on the status as you would with your incident registers as well. And you can also apply filters for an assignee if required, just to help narrow down those results. All right, we are getting through this. Let's move on to something that is quite major and very exciting, and that's the release of Sites. This is also in beta. Now, Sites is a new Astalty feature designed primarily for SIL providers. It gives your organisation a central place to manage the physical and operational locations where you deliver your services, whether that's a SIL house, a day program, a respite property, or an office. And each site acts as a container for everything related to that location. So that can be the participants living or attending there, compliance records, operational information for support workers, documents, forms, and scheduling itself. Let's go across to Astalty and we'll have a look at how that looks in practice. So you can see here we've navigated to sites and we can see all of the sites that have been created here. So we have different site types. It's either a SIL house or other. Now, house sites support a capacity limit, a dedicated schedule view, and the full feature set, where other sites, like this one here, do contain the schedule, records, participants, information items, documents, and forms, but it doesn't have a capacity tab. Okay. Now, as far as creating and managing sites, you'll do this from the Create Site button here at the top. We'll click into here, and you can see that we'll need to include the site name, the type, a description of the property, the capacity where relevant. A site manager can also be assigned to the property, and you can add the address by either looking up through the lookup filter here, or you can enter the address manually as well. To assign a participant to a property, we can see here that we have a SIL house that only has 3 out of 4 for their occupancy. So we'll click in and have a look at this property here. When we navigate down to our participants, we can go ahead and assign a participant to this property. So let's maybe assign Tiana. And we'll see that that property is now at capacity when we navigate back to the overview. We can see here 4 out of 4 for our occupancy. Now, Astalty will allow you to add an additional participant to this property above capacity, but you will receive a notification to let you know that you're exceeding capacity. So let's show you how that appears. We'll click on Abigail here, for example, and we see here that this site has a capacity of 4. Assigning an additional participant will bring that occupancy over that required amount. So we can go ahead and assign, but this is a great prompt to let you know that that property is now at capacity. All right, Now, for our site records, this is how you can track compliance documents against a site. So things like your fire safety certificates, building insurance, pest inspection reports, and so on. Each record has an issue date, an optional expiry date, optional reference number, and attached files. So very much like you would expect in your user records and participant records, it's the same sort of process there as well. So automatically tracks whether each record is current, expired, archived, or missing, and records can also be emailed directly to external recipients such as auditors or landlords. And we do keep a full email history for each of those records. All right, so those records can be configured within settings. So let's jump across and have a look at how that appears. We'll go to settings and we'll go to sites. And we can see here that we have our site record types. So this is the configurable portion here. Now, very much like your participant and user records, you do also have the ability to make these visible to support workers, as we have done here with the building insurance. So this just makes that record available to the support worker in their app during any of the shifts that they are providing support at this property. So we'll close out of here for now. And we're going to have a look at information items. So information items, very much like you would have on your participant profile, are a great snapshot of important data that needs to be captured at an easy to glance location for your support workers. So within here, we can add a type. Now, a lockbox code is one of those sorts of things that comes up quite a bit to ensure access can be achieved to a property. So you'll click on add type, and in here, you'll add the name of the particular information item, whether it's required or documents are allowed, and whether it's visible to support workers. So again, not every information item, very much the same as in participant profiles, is available to support workers unless this has been selected in the settings. So we'll go out and close here, and let's jump across to our site to have a look at how that appears. We'll go to our Acacia House, and on the overview page of this property, we can see that the lockbox code is a required information item and has yet to be completed. So if we jump in here and add some information, say that it is 48 and hit save, that lockbox information item is now showing as completed. So the support worker will be able to see this from within the shift information, just as they do for participant information items by navigating to the site itself. Now, to display how that looks, and this should work for me, bear with me for a second. No, we're having some issues with demo at the moment. Okay. No, we're not. That was a user error on my part. Apologies, guys. All right, I'm going to share another screen with you. So in this support we have for Kevin, we can see that in the shift itself, we have site displayed here. When we click on this option here, we can see the site name, the address, and the information items. So the lockbox code, for example, here. The support worker can simply click into this information item, and that information is readily accessible for them as well. We also have the ability in the sorry, bear with me. So many little pop-ups here. And we jump back to the overview for our property. We can also see that we have the ability to add documents. These may be just general information that you want to add about the property, and the ability to add forms as well. Now, as for your forms, just bring up my information here, sorry. The Forms tab lets you associate forms with a site as well for support workers to complete site context. So that might be property damage that's been reported. You might want to associate a form so that your support workers can notify the team of any damage that's been identified. So you just follow the same process as you would normally for creating your forms through the Forms tab in your main menu, and you can associate that form to the site. You'll simply do that by clicking on Add Form, and from the drop-down menu, you'll be able to select from the relevant forms here based on your settings. Okay, now for scheduling integration, this is something that is fantastic. So we can now schedule directly from the property itself as well. So rather than working from scheduling in the main menu here, which you can also do. If we click on Add Shift, we have the ability to select from this site drop-down menu here, and we can choose the house from that list. That will also reduce the participant list down to the participants who are registered at that property as well. But if we go back to our sites and we click into Acacia House, and we'll go to the schedule, when we click on Add Shift here, Astalty is going to automatically assign the site for you. And again, the participant list will only contain those particular participants who have been registered to the property. Now, we also have the ability to add recurring charges for the property. So if you have a participant who is being charged weekly for their SIL arrangement, if you navigate down to your recurring charges, you can simply click on Create Recurring Charge here, and you'd go through the process as you would normally if you were using direct charges through your finance tab. So this is fantastic to have it all located within the one location, making it easier for your scheduling team to navigate. All right, so we also now have in our reports, the billable charges report contains a filter for sites as well, which you can see here. So you can then refine all of your billable charges to a specific location by using this filter here as well. All right. Was there anything else, Holly, that you wanted to cover on sites as well that I haven't demonstrated so far?
I think you have covered most of it there, which is great. I'm just double checking myself now. But no, I think you covered it all.
Awesome. There is actually one other thing I thought of as well, and that's when you're using a property for STA, for example. So we would set that property up as other rather than a SIL house. That allows for multiple participants to be assigned to that property, and we don't have a capacity limit. We have the ability to see that schedule here, so you can make sure that on any given day, you're not assigning too many participants to a home that might only have 3 bedrooms, for example. So this is a great way to manage those bookings as well. It's also fantastic for your day options programs to make sure that your rooms have availability within that space. So yeah, definitely a great feature that has been released recently, and we're very keen to get feedback from users. So if you are interested in trialing sites, please reach out to our support team. Again, that's support@astalty.com.au, and we will be more than happy to switch that on for you. We will just request that you let us know of any feedback that you have, good or bad, so we can make sure that Sites is working for your organisation to the best of its ability.
And if anyone needs that email address, I've put it into the chat.
You're a legend, Holly. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Did we have any questions that need to be addressed? I don't think there's anything listed in chat so far. Nope. Beautiful. Okay. Did anyone have any questions they want to ask on the topics that we've covered today? Not seeing any hands pop up. That's all good. If you do have any questions you would like to ask us about the content that's been covered, please just reach out to us, again, using that email that's been listed in chat, or you can also click on the support button at the top of your Astalty browser, which you'll see here. I'll just click there. You can report a bug, you can request a feature, or you can just ask a general question, and that will come through to our support team for review. But yeah, any questions, please just send those through to us. We're more than happy to assist, and very keen to get as many beta users on those releases as we can as well. Every bit of feedback helps us in shaping how Astalty works for you guys. So it's very important to have your feedback on board as well. All right, let's jump across here. We would love your feedback. So if you have any questions, ideas, or want to continue the conversation, as I've just mentioned, go ahead and email us at support@astalty.com.au. You can also join the Astalty community. This is a Facebook page where we have a lot of users active in that space, asking questions amongst each other. We also have some of our support team who will jump in there to answer questions where they can as well. Definitely scan that QR code and join that group. It's a great resource to connect with other providers. So definitely jump on and do that. All right, well, that brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you to everyone who has joined us today. It was great to see such large numbers in attendance today for this session, which is fantastic. We will be reaching out to you to let you know when the next session will be carried out. You'll receive an email like you did for this session. But if you have any questions in the meantime, definitely yell out and we'll be happy to assist. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.